Hello, I'm Wendy Bowman, Communications Director for the City of Waterloo. And today we wanted to come back and bring you an update on all the changes that have happened with regards to funding and support for landlords and renters during this crazy time of COVID. And so today we have some of the local organizations with us that are going to tell you about the funding that is available and some of the changes that have happened even this week. So today we're going to start with Colleen Shipper from Black Hawk County General Assistance. Colleen, go ahead.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to give you an update on what's going on with the Blackhawk County funds. Nothing really ever changes with those. That is the good thing with that. It's just pretty much the same year after year after year. And Blackhawk County funds for the rent assistance are distributed through Jesse Cosby Center, East Side Ministerial, and Operation Threshold. If a client's in need of assistance with their rent, they just have to have a notice from their landlord stating that they haven't paid all of their current month's rent. They do not have to have an official eviction notice, so they just have to have something in writing from their landlord before they can call one of the three agencies to set up an appointment. Most generally, Eastside Ministerial Alliance and Jesse Cosby Center take the bulk of the rent appointments because Operation Threshold is the lead agency for utilities, so they're already really busy with that. If a client meets eligibility guidelines, we're able to assist with a portion of the current month's rent only. We cannot assist with any back rent. We're able to assist a maximum of 3 times a fiscal year, and that 3 times does include any other assistance that we might assist with for utilities or water bills, medications, anything like that. Our fiscal year starts July 1st. An applicant has to be a Blackhawk County resident and a legal citizen of the United States to be considered for rent assistance. And we are not able to assist anybody that's currently on subsidized housing. That is due to the fact that their rent is set to be able to afford with the income that they have. So their rent is already subsidized. If their income changes, they should notify the place that they have the subsidized rent through as soon as possible so their rent can be adjusted. And if someone does have zero income, we just require that they are receiving food stamps or have recently applied for food stamps. That's just a good checkpoint for us to verify that they don't have any income. We are not able to assist any eligible veterans through the General Assistance Program because there is a local Veteran Affairs office in Blackhawk County that assists veterans. So we just refer any veterans to the Veteran Affairs office. We do have to take all income into consideration within the household. So that includes FIP, any wages, workers' compensation, unemployment benefits, any tax refunds that they may have received, stimulus money. So a lot of that's going on right now with the stimulus money, but there's a lot of people that also haven't received that. So we're still assisting a great number of people. And we are not able to assist any, if a client comes in and they're renting from a relative, we're not able to pay that landlord any rent for that individual. Most of the landlords are aware of that within the Blackhawk County. And if applicants are found to have income less than the established guidelines, we generally are able to assist, but we do like to verify that they have at least paid something towards their basic needs before we throw in our assistance if they have income. If somebody meets the requirements for Blackhawk County rent assistance, we can assist with $200 for the first person in the household, and then $25 per person addition to that. Once we do assist, we give a form to the landlord to fill out to return to me for payment to be made. That just verifies that they're the owner or property manager of that property. And then that also, once they return that to me, they have to verify that they'll let that tenant stay in that property just for the period covering. So it's just for the month that we're assisting with. And then we have worked with the majority of the landlords within Blackhawk County. Most all of them know exactly how we work. So if they have any questions, they know that they can call any of the three agencies or myself. And that's about all I have. So I'll turn it over to Jesse at Jesse Cosby Center.
Hi. Well, just to follow up what Colleen was talking about, normally when our clients come in, the first thing we do is we try to assist them with the Black Hawk County funds. Like I said, they have to go through the application process. They'll either be approved or denied. Since COVID, we have been awarded funding from the city through community development, which allows us to assist clients up to 3 months with their rent. Of course, it's a more extensive application process with that. We do also have other funds through a grant that we can also assist clients with rent assistance if they've been affected by COVID. So we do have an additional pot of funds for that as well. On occasion, we get money from United Way through the Emergency Food and Shelter Program, and also CARES, which is also money that we can distribute to clients if they need additional assistance if the Black Hawk County funds aren't sufficient. So we do have several pots of funds that we can assist clients with.
Thank you, Jesse. Next, we're here from Michelle Jungers from Iowa Legal Aid.
Hello, my name is Michelle Jungers. I'm managing attorney for the Waterloo office of Iowa Legal Aid. Iowa Legal Aid provides free civil legal assistance for critical legal needs for low-income and vulnerable Iowans. We receive funding, our office, specifically the Waterloo office, received funding from the city of Waterloo to provide legal assistance for any COVID-related legal matter. Primarily, the cases that we take that are COVID-related are typically housing, unemployment, and employment cases, but we are also assisting with tax-related issues. So if you're working with somebody who's having a difficult time getting their stimulus payment, that's something that our office can help navigate. But like I said, typically the issues that we're providing assistance with are mostly housing at this point. In order to get help from Iowa Legal Aid, you can complete an application online at iowalaw.org or by calling our toll-free number. It is 1-800-532-1275. And they'll have to, obviously, whoever calls in will have to meet our income and asset eligibility guidelines. And then once you meet the guidelines, we do our best to connect you with an attorney at the same time that you call in, or that we call you back if you complete an application online.
Thank you, Michelle. And next we have from Operation Threshold, Barb Grant and Lisa Ahern.
I'll go ahead and start. My name is Lisa Ahern. I am the Family and Community Services Director for OT. So we have quite a bit of funding right now through just different sources. And I just want to start out too by saying our funders have been really great in supporting organizations through this time and how we best respond to people's needs. Specifically, I really want to focus on our housing resources. Before I go into that, I just want to mention that we do have energy assistance funding for folks who are disconnected. And I will give you some resources at the end of my little talk here about how you can access those if you're disconnected and you need help with utilities, because we do have a lot of utility assistance right now for folks. Some that we provide through our regular programs and some that we provide through the additional sources that are available now. You know, specifically what we've really been talking about lately is the housing crisis and the number of evictions that our community will be facing. The eviction moratorium was extended to June 30th. And for us, you know, in terms of how we're dealing with folks every day, that's really important because it allows us some more time to help people with critical assistance that will keep them housed. So we currently have some funding through the city of Cedar Falls, and that will help folks who need help with their rent or their mortgage. They can apply through our website for those dollars. And then the other program that we have that's actually statewide, we don't have a contract for it yet, but this is really what we're preparing for right now. The dollars that are coming through the state through this program will help a lot of households, and they will help a lot of landlords as well to be whole in their rental payments. I think just to put everything into context a little bit, you know, if we kind of go back a year and we really think about what happened with COVID, you know, our service industries just shut down. People were sent home with no benefits and no resources. If they were fortunate enough to get unemployment, then, you know, they were able to get that for a period of time, but that was not sustained. And our community really isn't at a place yet where everybody's made whole. So thankfully, we have these resources through the state that will help people get current with their rent and will also help them looking forward. So the program that I really want our community and especially our landlords to start thinking about is called the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, available through the state. Renters can apply directly online. They can go to iowahousingrovery.com and take applications there. And then our agency will basically process those applications and make the payments to the landlord. A couple really great things about this program as I've read through it so far is that if people are already approved for another program, such as our energy assistance program, they're categorically approved for this program. So I'm really hopeful that we'll be able to speed along our processing times for that. I think that's significant. That will help renters, that will help landlords. And the program will go back to rental arrearages to March 13th, 2020. But I should note that there does have to be a COVID-related reason for the need. You either have to have been directly or indirectly impacted by COVID. And so through our application process, we'll be able to determine just what that is and document it. So the rental arrearage can be paid, but we can also go forward in 3-month increments if there's still a need. Because like I said, you know, people are still struggling to kind of get back on their feet, to get caught up for a variety of reasons, you know, from unemployment to some very real health consequences that they're facing because of COVID. So that will be a really important resource for our community and our landlords to have. There are income guidelines to that program. It is for people who earn 80% of the area median income. And to give you an idea of what that income is for a household of one, that would be $40,600. If you're a household of 4, it'd be $58,000. So that's something that, you know, we would examine income documentation and figure that out. But that's really the group of income-wise, that's the population that we're working with there. Just a couple notes too for landlords who would be willing to participate in this program. Things that can really help us get the payments out would be just being responsive to our phone calls, because obviously we would be verifying amounts that are due. We would need a copy of a lease or some sort of statement that says this is the rent amount, this is the address and the individual. So just helping with that documentation. We would also be looking for a W-9 so we can make that payment directly, you know, to the landlord as well. So that will definitely help on the processing side, because we want to get the dollars out as soon as we can. I should add that we do currently have funding through the city of Cedar Falls, so we're able to offer the program in that community right now. And like Jesse was saying, Waterloo can access those resources for renters as well at this time. One more thing before I turn it over to Barb. For folks who do want to apply for that program, like I said, iowahousingrovery.com is where you apply for the statewide assistance. And if Operation Threshold can answer your questions about any of our services, you can email us at crisis@operationthreshold.org. You can call us at 291-2065. And I will turn it over to Barb.
Hi, thank you. I'm Barb Grant. I'm the Director of Operation Threshold. And one of the things I think we wanted to make sure folks knew about the state's program is it's a lot of money. It's the assistance that came from the federal government, and Iowa's portion of the federal $25 billion funding is $195 million. So it is a significant amount of money and can make a significant difference in helping renters pay you, the landlords, their back rent. And so we want to make sure that you know that. And this funding expires the end of December, but there's also been in the Relief Act that was just passed, there's another about $20 billion for rent assistance that goes through 2025. So at the federal level, they're understanding that this is probably a long-term, or that this will be a long-term recovery, and putting things in place to help. We know that landlords have been negatively impacted by COVID, and in terms of your business. OT is a landlord as well. We have 59 rental units. We have tenants that are behind on their rent. We understand what that does to cash flows and things like that. So we understand that. We really want to encourage you to consider participating in this, encouraging your tenants to apply. They don't have to wait. We don't want them to wait until the end of the eviction moratorium. We'd really like people to go ahead and be applying now. And there is not a dollar cap. There was assistance available starting last spring through the end of December from the state, and for rent assistance, and it was limited to 4 months, and there was a maximum dollar amount. This does not have a maximum dollar amount. It is up to 12 months, and like Lisa said, it can pay arrearages, and it also can pay then future rent. So that's really, really important, and we really, really encourage you to do that. Tenants will need a valid email address for you. So if you would make sure that your tenants know what your valid email address is, and then you can go to the Iowa Housing Recovery website and look. There's a lot of information for landlords out there, and including a manual or kind of user's guide of what to expect. And the state actually will be doing ACH transfers of those rent payments if your tenants are approved. So they will ask you for bank information, and just want to forewarn you. And if you have questions, you also can call. The state has set up a housing recovery helpline, and their number is 855-300-5885. So 855-300-5885. We appreciate your time and listening, and we hopefully we would like to all work together to help the landlords, help the tenants, and all work together to get through this. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. That's a lot of information for landlords and for renters. So bottom line, if you're a landlord, encourage your renters to be applying for assistance. If you're a landlord, look for those websites and those funders that can assist you. There's money out there and resources available. That's the good news. I'm going to put in, following our discussion here, as much contact information on the screen for you as possible. But if it's easier for you just to contact Waterloo Community Development, or contact me, Wendy Bowman, at City Hall in the mayor's office, I will also connect you with the resources that you need. Most important, reach out and get the funding and assistance you need. Be patient. We're going to get through this eventually. Thank you, everyone.